Hello my friends, welcome back! Very soon after my last tournament report, it's another tournament report! You must be very excited. Not quite as excited as me, because no one's ever as excited as me. This one is Riftwars Autumn. Now you may remember that I attended Riftwars not too long ago, and it was a very small 10-player event. Well, they have increased in size dramatically. This one is a 12-player event, that's right! We are really pushing the limits. Another local tournament with a sizable detachment from up north. This is 2,300 points. It is a Northern Kings scored tournament. It is run by Elliot, who works for Mantic. This is his local club. He only recently works for Mantic, you see, as a app developer kind of guy. Very cool, and I was excited to test out my new list, and here it is. How exciting. Nice segue. I have listened to feedback, by the way. We had some complaints about the red drawing thing because of red-green colour blindness, so I moved to black. Lots of complaints about black. Can't see it, no good. We've gone bright yellow. If you can't see this, I have nothing to say to you. I just don't know. Help me, God. So, we have two hordes of unforged orcs, one of them with the potion of the caterpillar, two troops of riftwalkers, a horde of thunderseers with blessing of the gods to give them elite to compensate for their melee 4. We have a stormfall shrine, mandatory, and then my stormcaller I have now given him Veil of Shadows and Hex, really just trying to make him into a tool for all occasions. You'll remember I took Veil of Shadows to Battle Masters not too long ago and didn't use it once, so I've given him Hex as well, so at least he's got something to do. We've got the Riftforger and Thonar pair. Big fan. Of course, Host Shadow Beast shortly to be nerfed, which makes my list terrible. So there you go. Time to rewrite it at that point. Double Stormbringer on Hellstrike Manticore. They're brilliant. And the Iron Boots formation. So this is pretty much exactly the same list that I took to Battle Masters without the Giant. That's pretty much it. He's around 300 points, so that's probably it. He's slightly under, isn't he? Slightly over, maybe, I don't know, whatever. So here we are. And my first game was against Rich, a guy I know very well, reasonably well. I've met him a few times. And we've never played, though. And these are his Basileans. So let's look at his Basilean list. He has a regiment of Paladin Foot Guard with Brew of Strength. So these are the melee 3 defense 5 guys, and he's given them Crush 1. He's got 2 troops of Sisterhood Scouts, which is chaff, basically. One of them's got Fire Ore, which we can immediately forget because I don't have any regen. Why do people take Fire Ore? I see it a lot. Surely there are better items for 5 points. I know sometimes you meet regen and you're like, "Whee!" But actually, I don't think it's worth it. Personally speaking to them, he's got a horde of Elohi. Now, against common meta, he's not taken the downgrade to defense 4 for Crush 2. Instead, he's kept the original and he's gone for Helm of the Drunken Ram to give them Thunderous Charge. He's got a horde of Ogre Palace Guard, a regiment of Paladin Knights with Caterpillar, a basic priest, bog standard priest, Julius the Unkillable. He's gone for Nias. I've never seen Nias on the battlefield. Lovely to see a Nias on the battlefield, isn't he? Speed 9, hits, he's pretty good, isn't he? Crush 2, 7 attacks. He's a bit like Thonar, but better, without exploding stuff, I guess. There's that. And then he has gone for the Golden Panthers formation, which I've also never seen on the battlefield. Very excited. And this gives you 2 troops and 2 regiments. Oh no, so 2 troops of Ger Panthers. They're good. And then 2 regiments of Panther Lancers, who have an aura of fury for beast only. Now, beasts include the Ger Panthers, obviously, but also includes something else. What does it include? I'm sure there was something else with beast. Nias Celestus. So he gains fury as well. I mean, he's already got headstrong, but crack on, buddy. And that's from the Panther Lancers. So there you go. Very, very fast list. I mean, all Basilean lists tend to be, don't they? So you've got Elohi speed 10, you've got Julius speed 10, you've got Naya speed 9, and the Panthers and Panther Lancers all speed 10. So very, 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 very fast. And we're going to have to deal with that. And this is our battlefield. Apologies, we had started to put our armies out before I realised I hadn't taken a photograph. More shambolic gameplay from me. So, we have 2 height 6 houses, 2 height 3 hills, a couple of, I think we, height flat, it didn't come up, height flat lakes. There's some height 2 walls, and then some height 6 forests. Alrighty. And I should say that throughout this entire game, I'd listened to current new US Master Adam Ballard's episode of Countercharge, and he's got a very fast Alpha Strikey kind of army and soul flares and all that kind of stuff. And what he was saying was, don't engage me until turn 4. And that was in my head the whole time. We are playing Invade. And we have done the thing where we both deploy on opposite sides. So I looked at this house, which I like. I can't fit a horde through here. I can fit a regiment through here. We checked. And I thought, you know what I want to do? I want my whole army to be on this side, because he's not going to be able to bring anything meaningful against it. Right? He's got, I think, 1 less unit strength than me. It's not a great deal. So I started off by putting some stuff over here. And then I deployed these guys, I think, as well. When he started, he clearly was just going to deploy here. So I just started going a little bit further. And in the end, most of my army is on this side. And then most of his army is on this side. The only thing that's left is some Panther Lancers and Gur Panthers, and this is Nias on this side. Okay. So clearly his plan is hold me up with these, smash the living daylights out of me with all his fast stuff, and then kind of come around this side. My plan, conversely, is so I've got 1 Stormbringer and Manticore, I've got Thonar and the Riftforger, and I've got my Thunderseers here. Newly painted, very exciting. You'll see those in a little bit, probably, maybe. With troop of Riftwalkers, the flying guys here. Now we are going to use these guys to hold these guys off. We're going to walk up here, smash the living daylights out of this, and then come across here, right? So we both have the same plan. He's faster than me. I'm potentially slightly more durable, not really. So realistically, I'm going to be not using these guys. Thinking about the Adam Ballard conversation. As he comes down, I am going to be legging it this way. So I'm going to trick him, hold him off as long as possible, pick out his elements, and stop him fighting me until turn 4. Right, so that so he doesn't have enough time to, kick the living daylights out of me, and I have enough time to kind of get my stuff over. Right, plan, sort of. Let's see. Here's his army. One of the things I like about Richard's army, by the way, I think it is his army, he can correct me if I'm not, everything's magnetized, so all of these guys all come off. Everyone comes off for transport and swapping and stuff, so he can do, so he can take his units off and put them as troops or hordes or whatever. I think it's really clever. And he won the best painted prize, which is nice. Here we are. Here's his knees. He said he was trying to avoid having his groin in the anyway. And so in this side here, I have the other Stormbringer here because he's faster than Nias. These are my hordes of Unforged here, right? Defense 4 Rubbish Orcs. And these are the Inspiring guys with the Wild Charge aura. These are the Good Orcs, so these are the guys I'm coming to smash with. And we have my Shrine, Stormcaller, and the other Riftwalkers. Right, very simple melee-based army. So he scouts with his sister scout ladies. Up they come. And I win first turn, which is lovely. I'm very happy to win first turn in Invade because it's Invade. Why wouldn't you? So this is the Caterpillar Horde, obviously, because it's run straight into a lake. There's nothing too scary and fast in the center. All the scary fast stuff is slightly fast, very, very fast. Right, so these guys are all going to come down. So I feel reasonably confident coming very fast forward with these guys. We wander over this wall, and I'm feeling good about that. On the left-hand side, I stay out of 20 with my Stormbringer and Manticore, and I hop these guys just over the front of here. So I'm just peeping out, and if you imagine their 20-inch charge range is pretty much like this. There's nothing to charge. He can shoot me with these guys, but I'm going to try and use Combined Lightning Bolt to do something about that. Because conveniently, these guys are on the hill, which means I can see them. And there we go, 5 damage. It's not bad, is it? I think I wave. Is that a waver? I think I get a waver. I think, yes. I think a 5 damage and waver 1, so he doesn't even get to shoot one of them. So his turn, he pushes forward quite hard with the Go Panthers with Julius behind. I'd be tempted to go forward with everything. These are Panther Lancers, these are speed 10 as well. Because realistically, I've only got 5 attacks here. It's not going to damage anything, is it really? But he's kept them out of 14 here. But he's been quite cautious with this rest of the stuff, which I'm happy about. There is a lot of hitting power here. So that's probably why. You can see some measurement going on here, up to 13 inches, which is my max charge. So he's got his Panthers outside of that, and he's pushed forward with the Go Panthers there. I've come forward quite hard with my Stormbringer here, so I think he's kept Julius outside of 20. Not Julius, Gnaeus Celestus. And then he whacks some heal onto those guys, as you do. And comes back with the shots off the hill into my big horde. I'm not really concerned about 2 wounds, and we're on to turn 2. So you're wondering, there's a clock here, by the way. Riftwars is still operating a round timer. It's very small, it's not a problem. A round timer rather than a clock timer, which is fine for everyone. We had an hour on the clock each. Incidentally, I only put upon the clock. I thought, I'll put the clock here just so we can keep track of it, and I put 1 hour 20 because that's 60 minutes times 2, right? No, it should just be at 2 hours. So the clock ran out, and we're like, oh my god, is the round over? No, we still had 40 minutes to play. Anyway. Funny story. Next time they're going to individual clocks. Very exciting, like tournaments do. And so here we are. And so the turn 2, I enact my plan of legging it because I'm a coward. So we back up a little bit. We stay out of the range of the Elohi, but not of the Gurpans. I think this is still within 20. My Thunderseer is peeking in the woods here, but the this guy who was over here has literally just gone bye. And he's hidden over here. Thonar's come over here. You can see these dice are showing me where the 20 inches are. So we're all good. And then we've come forward to form a nice curve around here. And on this side, very proud of myself. Oh, that's just showing you where he booked it over here. Like a coward. I did a proper, what I like to call a Matt G, named after my friend Matt G. Where he sees something, he sees, ooh, look at the angles I can get off of that. So the Stormbringer on Manticores on this side. See him here? Here he is. I spotted that Gnaeus' line of sight is here. And the Paladin's line of sight is here. And 20 inches we measured quite nicely. We actually took the house away to measure it. From the back of my base comes to about here. So this gives me a great spot to sit without being seen. Which I proceeded to do so. And I felt quite smug about it. Probably was quite unpleasant. There's an inch gap here, there's an inch gap here, it's all good. So it's a nasty place for him to be. And then we lightning bolts again. I rolled like a boss. Look at that. Another 4 wounds off of my however many lightning bolt. 10 lightning bolt. Which is pretty good. Enough to take them off. They were wounding on 2s. That's why. This is a woods, by the way, taking the trees off. So yeah, got rid of one of the Sisterhood scouts, which is good news for me. And then in response, so still being cautious here because there is still a lot of hitting, right? There's a Riftforger here as well. Oh, no, he's here. And these guys 30 attacks, so and they've got Pathfinder, so instead he's forming a very nice curve, and this is it is a good curve. I love good curves, don't we all? He's staying out of the charge range here. He's not going in. He's got Julius backed up by the Sisterhood Panther Lancer people. He's got his Elohi, his Knights, his Oak Palace Guard, and Paladin Knights. This is very terrifying. There's a lot of hitting here, right? But what's good is that normally people do make a mistake, right? I've got an individual here that's fast and can go in and hit reasonably well. No matter where he goes, if I go here, the Knights are on him. If I go here, everyone's on him. If I go here, these guys. So there is nowhere for him to kind of punch in and hide, right? Which is good, very good movement, good deployment. And then over here, he's like, well, I've got Thonar on my flanks of everything. And he sends them in, which I thought was, okay, you're sending them in, fine. But these guys are dead now, like fully dead, because there is so much stuff here. He's got Nias, so Nias has turned around to face this way because he's looking at the flank of this unit. He decided that actually he'd turn for a face. You can see the 8 here, there's actually a 10 here. So Nias, no matter if I go in here, Nias will rear charge me. I'm not going to kill him in one go. So basically it's stopping this guy doing anything. So that's good play. I can't really get anywhere helpful, I would say. And I also, annoyingly, can't get this side of the woods. And it's not quite 10. My measurement wasn't quite good enough. But he has gone and send these guys in, and there's no backup for them. So it's not going to look great on that side. He needs to kind of come around very, very fast now, which he can do. Continues to shoot at this horde with the 1 remaining troop. Does an extra wound, they're okay. And then he smashes in like a boss. The assisted lancers, 9 wounds and a waver onto this horde, which is annoying, frankly. 2 wounds there, they're okay. And on to turn 3. So, rather than take that charge, the suicide charge, instead I decided to just continue to be annoying. And I just fly this way and hide. So now Nias is line of sight as that, so he can't see me. No one can charge me. I'm kind of looking at stuff. I think it was slightly that's out of 20. I thought it was in, but it wasn't. It's my fault. But you know, he's still got to deal with him. That's still more. You know, this is more points than that. So we countercharge, or we don't countercharge. We do nothing about the Panther Lancers whatsoever because I can't. Yeah. We just stay there and say, all right, you can kill me next turn. It's only a horde. It's a lot of unit strength, though, isn't it? And we make sure these guys die because actually the Panther Lancers, once they finish off this horde, are going to get boshed, like fully boshed. And then, even without the horde, I've got 3, 6, 9 unit strength already on his side of the board. That's my plan. Over here, I decide that I'm going to try and stop the inevitable advance of all this killy stuff. So I do send my Riftwalkers into the front of these, whatever they're called, Gur Panthers, and I decide to leg it even more. So Thonar comes over here and hides. The Rift Forger comes over here. I turn my my Stormbringer to stop. You know, if anyone comes here, they're going to have to stop short of the woods, which holds them back for 1 more turn. Otherwise, I'm going to charge them with him. And the Thunderseers, I couldn't quite back them up without being, you know, the line of sight here is quite strong for Julius. It's like, whoa, not like that. More like this, right? So if I'd have backed up, no matter how I got out of the woods, I would have got a Julius on me. So we bravely run away. Brave to Robin ran away. Anyway, we're orcs. And then, like a dude, my lightning bolts continue to thrill. And from both the shrine and the little chap, the little storm caller. 4 wounds and a waver again. So that was a risk because actually Thonar is very chargeable here, right? Which then blocks up my horde, and then stuff can start coming in. So that was, you know, perhaps a bit of a gamble, but I took it. Even better, 3 wounds on these guys and a waver. Right, so now we're standing in the way, not of anything in particular, because they're both height 3. They can see over. That's what it is. And we smash up the Gur Panthers, as you do. And then I decide that I've got enough with these 2 regiments to take care of these Panther Lancers. And the regiment of Reborn decides to go that way, because that's where the action is. So off we go onto turn 3. So he continues to hit these guys because he can't see these guys. So he tries to get rid of the horde. Nias comes into the woods to continue this game of cat and mouse with my Stormbringer, but he's outside of the line of sight of the horde. He can still get Thonard, so we'll see about that. And on this side, so he's playing a cautious game. Live dice rolling, look at that. Ooh, exciting. He brings the Palace Guard up. I think that's just to get them out of the flanking distance. The Elohi are being very cowardly, look at that. Extremely cowardly. they are... I think he's keeping them out of the Stormbringer's range. And the cavalry decide to finish off these Riftwalkers along with the troop. And the Panther Lancers go this way to start coming around here. And then Julius hides behind the wood, ready to come in here. Okay, so this was it was very tense, very tactical. Neither of us wanted to kind of jump in. I'm deliberately trying to keep him back. And he's just biding his time for that final kind of absolute smashing blow, which he's trying to rain down. Oh, that's without the exciting dice rolling hand. So he does smash the horde up. That's not surprising. They die. Very sad. As do the Riftwalkers. Also very sad. And he shifts... Well, he shifts his Panthers D3 left. And look! That's what he uses to roll. I've moved it there. It was on a 3. He did 3 inches to the side. That's a D3. They exist. I didn't even know D3s existed. That's the most exciting thing of the whole weekend. Anyway, turn 4. Turn 4, I decide to... Oh, turn 4, right? Which is when I'm allowed to attack him according to the rules that I've just made up. So we go for it. We're like, right, it's turn 4. We're going in. Come on, lads. Off we go. Off we go. So, we send in the Riftwalkers, who were, if you remember... I can't actually remember, so I'm checking back. Where were they? Oh, they're here. Sitting in a lake. Pathetic. But their corner to here is 14, I believe. Yep. So we go in here. We send Thonar and the Horde. So I do some shenanigans here. I need this guy to be safe. Nias is over there waiting to smash him up the Jaxi. So I go 20 forward to here, and then I send Thonar and the Horde in against these Paladin foot guard. Okay? The reason being that I expect them to die, which is, not so much of a gamble, but Thonar being in there pushes the Horde all the way over here, so that we are then protected by that maneuver, which I thought was quite cool. Oh, that's me. Oh dear. All right, that's both regiments in against the Panther Lancers, and as you've seen, they cark it. And on the left here, so we've got now speed 20, speed 16, speed 20. Right, we're it's all going bad. I need the Riftforger to be here to host Shadow Beast Thonar, so I put him right in the middle and say, go on then, charge him, because I've got Reborn Legionaries ready to go, and I've got Thunder Seers ready to go. None of which can be seen. So the line of sight for Julius goes like this. So he can see this guy. If Julius comes in here, he's going to get smashed. And then I thought I measured this. So out of 16, out of 20, I measured wrong. Let's just say it was not good measurement. And this guy, I don't know what he's doing there. Let's find out. Smash there, they're good. Waver here, which is the worst possible result for Rich, because he's gone very close again. This is something to really watch for in your spacing. These Ogre Palace Guard can't get anywhere because I've wavered here. That's the worst possible thing that could have happened. They're absolutely stuck. We've got 4 extra attacks on Thonar, but he rolled terribly. And then the Horde made up for it by rolling very well. And we managed to kill them. And then we just turned the Horde around to face Nias, and we rolled Thonar forwards because actually there's nothing here that can damage them. So in response, the Go Panthers come down. That's just unit strength on my side of the board. These Panther Lancers come over with Julius to face into the flank of everything down here. And this is my mismeasurement. So I think Rich looked long and hard at where he was, realised he really had to do something, and came in with the Elohi. I think this guy has had a very lucky game and should have been smashed quite a lot earlier. If he'd been bolder, I think, with these units, all these units, realistically, this is not a match. He could have just, come much further forward. Oh, you can see my lovely non-metallic metal on my Thunder. Whoa, on my Thunder Seers. So blindingly bright. Interesting. I didn't have another base, so I just ripped off my old Thunder Seers, which were much bigger, and then realised there's these giant glue patches all over the floor, so I had to cover it up with lots of tufts. Anyway, you can't see it. And then the horses going to the flank of these guys who were sitting on top of this wavered thing. These guys could do nothing but back up and wait to be thonard. And then Nias comes into the flank as well. He really comes in and decides, right, I just need all my units to be in the right place. Which is sensible. However, oh dear. Oh dear. 10 wounds. Double 1. Unfortunate. Fair to say. And the priest goes into my... let's try and sit him down. Doesn't succeed, unfortunately. Doesn't roll the 1 attack. The Rift dudes, Rift Walkers, do, of course, die from that triple charge, not surprisingly. And we reform like, yay! So, nice, facing this way, we're facing this way, we're facing this way. Turn 5. So you might think, why would he face them this way? And it's because he's still here. How irritating. And so, this is what I go for. I look at the pieces I've got and I think, what can I send into where? So this horde is facing the wrong way, turns around. These guys just wandering up here now, happily as anything. These guys have nothing to do because they're out of charge. The Thunder Seer, so this is devastatingly poor double 1 because the Thunder Seers are now flanking and that's 60 attacks. Along with the counter charge. I hide my caster here so that Julius can't Julius him. I decide to, if Julius wants to come into my shrine, by all means please do, because I need to get some Bane Chant off. And then we go. So we don't take the flank with this guy, because actually I don't want horses into everything. So we take this guy to hold up the horses. We send the Riftforger into Nice. He won't do anything particularly, but it's nice to be there. Thonar comes into the Ogre Palace Guard, and I rely wholly on my caster to lightning bolt off this damaged troop. Oh, I think that's what he's there for. Possibly? No, he's there for Bane Chanting, definitely. I'm like, come on, Stormcaller, you can do it, buddy. Lightning bolts. Doesn't work. Well, at least he gets a waiver. And he's another 2. He's very consistent this game. 4s and 2s, 4 attacks. He hits average. Bang on every time. Good lad. Or lady. Who knows. And that's my Bane Charm, which gets off just on the Thunder Seers, but it's enough. And then I've not even shown you the outcome of that. I think it's because time was running short, but you can kind of see here that no one dies. We do. I think we're not even wavered here. No. So, Nias survives this attack, takes 1 wound, and comes into the horde along with the Palace Guard. So the Palace Guard withdraw from Thonar and charge sideways into the horde. Because I think at this point he's going for unit strength. So he's trying to take out the unit strength. These guys wavered. These guys go back into this guy. I kill the Elohi, unsurprisingly. And then Julius and the Panther Lancers take on the Thunder Seers. He thinks a combined charge might take them out. He might well be right. And then he's got his free unit strength over here. So let's have a look at unit strength for a second. I got 6 here. That's 9. I mean, that's another 4. If they die, let's see if they die. Let's assume he dies. The horses could back away and get down there. That would be 3. They're going to get Thonard though, aren't they? We've got 3 here, 1 there, another 1 there. So it's not looking great for the Basileans at this point. He needs to do some killing and quick. The Panthers are just kind of running around. There's 5 wounds from those horses onto the Thunder, whatever he's called, Storm dude. I really need to learn. How many times have I played this army? Here we are. They are called Stormbringer. There we go. That's not enough. No, I felt really sorry for Rich at this point. I felt terrible for him. 10 wounds, that's definitely enough to kill him. It's a rerollable 7. And another 1. So, even worse, the Palace Guard and Nias, I mean, they do an absolute shed ton of wounds here, but it's only a waiver. No. Oh, look, you can see my shields. They look good, don't they? Yeah. That's bad for everything. So turn 6, I mean, oh, it's painful, isn't it? It's not very nice. So, Reborn join in this attack here. These guys come to finish off this lightning bolting here. We've got Thonar and a Riftforger here, along with the Horde. We all go into the Horde. Don't care about Nias. And then we have counter charges. So to stop Julius flying around, the Stormbringer comes into Julius, and the Thunderseers countercharge the Panthers. What does that show? Oh, that's my lightning bolt working. Yay! So I finally got rid of them. Turn 6, both beasts of chaff gone. There's a Host Shadow Beast here for 4 extra attacks. We waver the horses, which I'll take. We smash the living bejesus out of these Panthers. And then Julius takes a massive 2 wounds. So, yeah, go Rift, guy. So just looking up Stormbringer. Go Stormbringer. And why is that showing you that? That's the same thing again. Is there anything more exciting happening here? No, that's just his counter charger. So he counter charges this guy because he's easier to kill. Slightly. Into the same. Yes, easier to kill, lower nerve. Counter charges this regiment with any wounds. Yes, for okay. Obviously, we killed the Ogre Palaskar, which is very nice. So Nias comes into the Horde to try and take off that unit strength, and also for the points, because in Northern Kings, the more points you kill is the bigger score at the end. So at this point, he recognises he's on a losing streak, but at least let's get the points. These Panthers just run away. And just like sad. That is desperate, isn't it? Very depressing. Another double 1. Oh, that was just on a million billion wounds. And he doesn't even manage to kill the Horde, which is just sad. He does kill that guy, though. So there you go. That'll teach you. Need to not remember his name. Storm, goodness sake, Bringer. And he runs him forward just in case it's a turn 7. But there isn't. And that's the end of the game. So, a pretty decisive victory. I don't think it was maximum points. I didn't kill a lot. I think it was we didn't calculate the points ourselves, so I don't know what it was. I could look it up at some point, but it was like an 18, 19 out of 20. Right, it was a big one. Yeah, but great game. Very cagey. The beginning was extreme. I was measuring everything because of the lines of sight, and there's so many speed 10 things, but I just had in my head, don't engage till turn 4, don't engage till turn 4, and by golly, it worked. So there you go. On to the next game. Well then, game 2 was against a chap called Paul. Never played him before. He is from, I believe he's from the Lancastrian bunch, Ribble Warriors as they're called, and he's playing Abyssal Dwarves. And this is the list that people are afraid of, or have been afraid of, and it's my first time facing 7 war machines. Yes, my friends, 7 war machines. Well, quite this. He tabled his previous opponent in turn 3, I believe, after rolling a lot of 6s. So his list is 4 regiments of decimators, all of which have the mobile Katsuchan upgrade, which gives a single-use 24-inch 3 attack. Plus D3 attack without piercing, no, but it's vicious. A horde of lesser Ascidian golems, 2 hordes of grotesques, 1 with caterpillar, and 1 I think it had blade of slashing. Can't quite remember. He didn't have a list, unfortunately. We just went through. His printer had broken, and then he had 3 Angkor heavy mortars. So these are the guys that are blast D3 plus 2 attacks, with piercing 2, shattering. That's their other thing they've got. 2 grog mortars, which are like Angkors but not as good. D3 plus 1, piercing 2 without shattering. And then double Katsuchan rocket launchers, which are just blast D3, piercing 1. All vicious. That is freaking terrifying. I'm not going to lie. It's just, if you roll 5s and 6s, it's the end of the game. So, and then he's got a half-breed champ. That is only inspiring is this one chap who's got Tome of Darkness. It's given Surge 5. The only inspiring character. So, I was on the same table again, but when you have repeat tables, they rearrange the scenery. So this is how the scenery looked this time. So these are all epic dwarf maps you will probably recognize if you are an aficionado. But on the comfort, the terrain is nice and big. It's a good size, so there's that. So we have 2 height 3 hills, 2 height 6 houses, 2 height 6 forests. We have these flat guys with walls, and the walls around these ones are here. Okay, so there's a reasonable amount of terrain here, but no matter where I sit, let's say I had this side. I didn't actually, I had this side. Let's skip ahead. Islands on this side. No matter where I sit, if he puts a war machine here, 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 and here, let's say, he has got plenty of excellent firing lanes for days, really. Ignores cover. I mean, I've got a lot of meat, so to speak. There is that. But it's going to be a challenge. We are playing push with 2 tokens. I need to get across the line with my 2 tokens. Right? So, here's how we deployed. Wow, isn't that weird? Look, he's put them exactly where I said. It's almost as if I knew what was happening. So, I decided to be very tricky about this. I'm forgetting kill points. I am scenario all the way. And unwittingly, Paul actually helped me with this a little bit. So, okay, the Grog mortars, the Angkor heavy mortars are these 2. I believe these guys are the Grogs, and then the ones on the corners are the Katsu-chan. Okay, there's good ones. It's not relevant, really. They're all war machines that are going to just plonk all over me. You will notice my deployment. Alright? I have Veil of Shadows on this guy here. Right? I'm going to be making use of that. And I started by deploying down here. So I deployed this guy. So he's going to be worried about my fast flyers because they have the potential to get in the backline and start chewing stuff up. Okay? So I started off by putting, Horde, fast flyer, regiment. Like I'm deploying behind the hills, right? And so he's deploying against that, really. And then I deployed behind the forest because actually this is much better. There's less line. There's a line of sight here and one down here, but realistically there's quite a lot of space for me to hide in here and get into terrain, right? These guys here, this brown token is simply to indicate they are the Pathfinder unit. It's confusingly not a token, but we made that very clear, abundantly clear beforehand. These are my Inspiring guys, and these are my Thunderseers. So we're all defense 5, doesn't really matter, Pierce, whatever, Pierce 2. But these guys have relatively high nerve. My tokens are going on this unit right here, both tokens here. Okay, and the idea is I am going to distract with all of this as much as possible. I am going to, of course, get into the back line as much as possible. But the whole job here is to push past, because what he's done is, as I started to deploy down here, he started to put his decimators here, which is super for me. So 3 decimators committed to this side. I'm more scared of decimators than war machines, because decimators are reliable, war machines are not. Then he's got his, these are the golems, obviously, and the other decimator, here's his half-breed hero, and then he's got his fiends. So this one is the caterpillar fiend, this one is the blade of slashing fiends, right? I've got quite a lot here. I've got a flying unit as well, I've got my shrine, and more importantly I've got Veil of Shadows. So the likelihood is that this unit will survive across the halfway line. There is obviously a token here, that's an issue for me, so I'm trying to get on that with this. However, you will see that, so here's his army, very nice, very nice, very nice. Oh, yeah, reminiscent of a lot of this dwarf lists. So you see I've got my fast fly down the side and fast fly down the side, and I'm going to try and weather the storm to get those across, obviously. But the tokens, he put one here and one here, so it's one on each grotesque. So that really helps me, I'm not going to lie, because it means I don't have to, normally when I play push, I ignore their tokens and focus on mine, right? And then just get in the middle one so that I win. Here, I don't need to worry about this one in the middle anymore. I need to get this one. And even better, I think I've got enough here to do it. So, you've got 2 war machines and a grotesque and a hero. These guys are slow and dealable with. These guys can shoot at me. Actually, most of them can shoot at me. But they have less opportunity. So, that's the plan. Get across, get that token. Not that one, that one. There's my 2 tokens on my unit as promised. Please admire my non-metallic metal. Unfortunately, I did not win first turn. I turned to him and went, thanks, good game. Show him and put my hand out. Oh, we have a laugh. So he cautious push forwards because actually all he wants is to hold me off and then blast me up. And away he goes with some war engine shooting. Fortunately, he does. Obviously, he rolls some hits. If you've got that many war machines, you're going to roll some hits. But he did not manage to roll the damage. So we've got 2 wounds on this Stormbringer and 3 wounds on the Horde behind the hill and 1 wound on that Stormbringer. So off of those 7 war machines, 6 wounds, which is, I think, very lucky for me. I think in his last game he took off a Horde in turn 1. So that's what you need, a bit of luck first turn. So my job now is push forward as fast as humanly possible. So I use the Stormbringer. I just push him all the way forward and I kind of say, go on then, you charge me with your Grotesque because then I can get in combat. I hide Thonar behind him, this guy's slightly further back. We forget, by the way, I'll come on to that, actually, I'll come on to that a bit. A little bit of excitement for you. I put the Horde right on the hill. Because what I'm saying there is, go on, shoot this Horde. This Horde is totally expendable. I want you to spend a turn, hopefully 2 turns, taking off this Horde. Because then you're not shooting the stuff that really matters over here. Because we've pushed forward here. These guys are half in cover because they are Pathfinder. These guys are out of cover. Ready to cast Veil of Shadows to cover these guys. My important unit is hiding. These guys can't really be seen except for 1 war engine. And he's hidden too. Lots of use of cover. That's my Veil of Shadows roll. Veil of Shadows 3. So yeah, it's going really well so far. I lose first turn. I fail my Veil of Shadows roll. I am very sad. That's some Lightning Bolt onto a Decimator unit because it's all I can see for 2 wounds. And we're on to turn 2. So turn 2. I kind of expected him to take this charge and he didn't because he is, quite rightly, more focused on shooting. Plus, these guys are going to be hitting on 5s coming out of the pond. It's not a great choice, to be honest, not a great threat. So he simply moved back and brought some Decimators across because he's now going to unleash the forces of hell upon this poor, innocent, defenseless Stormbringer. Likewise here, he's pushing forward with the Golems and he's doing a little bit of Surgy Surge. These guys, again, he's being cautious, possibly because of the token, but he's hiding behind the woods so I can't get at him. I can't see him. But he's there when I pop into the woods to smash me because he's got Caterpillar Potion, right? So, yeah, good play. Oof. Oof. So, yes, better round of shooting this turn. Largely because he's got his Decimators in play. They're just more reliable. 9 wounds on him. And inviting him to shoot my Horde was a strategy. But, he didn't spend it on anything else. So they're up to a lot of a good round of shooting, shall we say. These guys are defense 4, so they're just like absolutely evaporated. He did get 1 wound onto the Thunderseers, but I'm not worried about that. So yeah, that's not great, is it? It's 18, 23 wounds on them. Stormbringer dies and the Horde dies, so everyone's dead, right? So he's obviously as planned on this side. What I do here is I send Thonar. So Thonar could, I think he'll maybe slightly out from War Machines just yet, so I decide Decimator's bigger threat. That's my strategy here. Decimator's bigger threat because they're just so, there's so many of them. I brought my regiment up behind, so I'm behind the hill, so there's not so many War Machines can shoot me. Can still get decimated, haha. Thonar's in here. I've got my flyers ready to block up as well, and I've got my guy here. I thought this was outside of 14. It turns out it wasn't outside of 14. And if you are following what's happening, you'll realise that it shouldn't have mattered. Anyway, on this side, so there was a slight positioning error, which I took advantage of. So I've decided that these guys are going to be sacrificial lambs, but I'm actually going to go for this token because why not? The golems will be charging over territory, over terrain into 5s, right? So they're hitting on 5. So I think that's survivable. And I've got a caterpillar unit to come and flank them when they bounce. There was a line of sight here, so his half-breed hero is hiding behind the house, but he's flat against this mistake that I've made with Thonar. Flat against the house means you can't spin. You can only spin 180. You can't end up like this because you end up in the house, which means my Stormbringer, who was here, could just fly 10 and turn. No one can see him apart from the 2 war engines. So he needs to take off a 13-15 hero with 2 war engines. I think that's a big ask. But it's very doable. That's the problem with War Machines. If he rolls 6s, he rolls 6s. If not, it's War Machine munchy time, and I enjoy that. And I have said, all right, you know what? Have my Thunder Seers. Have them. In an attempt to distract these guys into shooting them, rather than him. However, that's going to be full power grotesques. I've got plenty of backup. I have made a mistake, really. I've put the Thunder Seers too far forward, if we're truly honest. I should have put them here and everyone else behind, because as it is, grotesques come in and he backs up an inch on the withdraw. I can't see him with my stuff and I'm back to square one. Very, very bad move on my behalf. However, I have got these guys here. So he's here as well, so we shall see if I can survive. Some learning for next time there. What's that? That is that I've managed to do Veil of Shadows this turn. Hooray! So we're all stealthy around here. These guys are not stealthy, but they're blocked by golems. And that's Thonar, who absolutely smashed it and did 10 wounds onto the Decimated Troop, but he didn't manage to rout them, so that's disappointing. On to turn 3. So this is how we looked at the beginning of turn 3. That's my overview, which I've just talked through. So he takes the charge. So he takes both the Abyssal half-breed champion and the golems into this unit, which I'm pleased. I think he's fallen for my trap, maybe. I don't know. I think I'll survive because that's on 5s. That's what I hope. And I have got a horde here to come in. He's turned these decimators because, as well as the 2 war machines, he recognised the threat. He's going to be shooting here. It's going to be with cover because you are on my flank and my flank is covered. He can't see them. And then, so I mismeasured. They were within 14, but of course they are carrying a token hidden behind this card, which means their speed is 5. So they should not have been able to charge. And I only realised after he rolled the damage, and I went, oh, hang on, you shouldn't have been able to charge there. But by that point, he'd done it. So I was like, you know what? Just carry on. Do what you want. This side is unimportant. It's essentially my subtext. And he takes this charge here, hoping to smash them as well. They're actually here, but weapons being what they are, we couldn't quite get them together. So, yep, he's going for that. That's it. No, that's where they are. The Thunder Seers are in the wrong. I've moved them back. Okay. And then that is me showing that both war engines missed. And the Decimators, is that me showing the Decimators missed? Yes, it is. So 0 damage onto my Stormbringer. Very, very bad news for him. Very, very good news for me. So he had 1 bad roll of shooting, 1 bad round of shooting, 1 excellent round of shooting, and then this one is not going well, to my great glee. However, what was that? Oh, this is the movement on this side, is it? Yeah. So he withdrew these guys, and he decided to try and war machine Thonar off. Not sure I would have done that. I would probably have, we're on 10 wounds and we can't shoot. I'd have just carried on. Use the war machines on something else like these guys. However, both of these are coming in here. These guys are shooting with cover because they are not on the hill. They can see over the hill because they're leader point, but they're not on the hill. So, 6 wounds, which is survivable. And that's war machine damage. That's 4 wounds from war machines, the ones over that way, onto them. And then 2 wounds on Thonar. We're very survivable from the other war machines. So we're feeling good about this turn so far. Well, we were feeling good. Oh, maybe it was more than 6 wounds. It looks like it was 12 wounds, guys. Maybe I should just hold my horses. Anyway, that regiment's dead. That was the best news of the game, though. So it was through cover, I grant you. 6 wounds is a lot. He's an 8-10, or he's a 10-12, I think. So he must have rolled, yeah, 4. Or 4 or 5, which is great news. He's wavered, which means it's flank time, maybe. We'll see. Over here, a lot more wounds than I was hoping for. I think mainly the half-breed hero knocked it out of the park. Even on 5s, 12 wounds onto my reborn legionaries. They're a 16-18. So he, I think he rolled a 5. I mean, not a good. It was a terrible round of nerve rolls for him, to be fair. So they survived but wavered. Let's see if I can get my Fury aura within 6 inches. And another waver. So this one is a little bit more catastrophic. For him. But now I have a choice. So actually, I'm wavered all over the damn place. So 9 wounds, which means they did 8 off of their 18 attacks. And waver on the Thunderseers. So I have some choices, but my choices aren't good. So I've got a choice of basically who do I support. Let's go back to an overhead shot. Because I've only got one Fury aura. Right, my Fury aura is here. Oh, maybe I can do both. And I think that's why I do something very clever, because within 6 here, so I've got Fury first, then I move it all the way over here, and then I've got Fury for these guys as well, for the multi-charge. Let's see. So I think that's what I do. I try and make best use of the aura. So, Thonar being unengaged, he decides to go War Machine hunting, so he's on 4s, but he's tripling and exploding, so that's good. I decided to ignore the flank here because they're facing the wrong way. I don't care about this token, so that's fine. I'm just pick up some decimators. And the reason we're doing this is that A, they'll die because they're already on 10 wounds and I'm 20 attacks on 4s and 3s. But then it's another turn where he's got a juicy target on a hill. And I don't think he'll be able to resist hammering him. Which is great for me because he's ignoring the real threat over there. That's the plan. And decimators as well, maybe we'll see. Depends how much he's scared of a flying unit. And then we do, as I've said previously, so the Shrine being within 6 meant I could do this multi-charge, because these guys are height 4 over my height 3, so I can see them. And I got to fly these guys over the top, because I put this Stormbringer into one war engine, and we're coming to the second war engine here. And I think I'm within 12, so he can't even shoot me, because they're indirect. He's still got these guys to shoot with. So it's not a multi-charge. Instead, it's we go into the half-breed champion with the horde of unforged orcs, and we go into the abyssal golems in the front on my counter charge within this 6 inches here, or more specifically the tiny corner here. The reason I do this is because I'm going to do this combat first and do a nerve check. And then I'm going to try and kill this hero, and then go in again and do another nerve check. Let's see. They are defense 6, you see. And while I have some crushing and some Bane Chant and things, it needs to come off. So, Veil of Shadows goes off again. Brilliant. Very, very happy. Managed to knock it out the park. Because I'm very wounded. And what's more, I get off the legendary triple Bane Chant, which is just horrible, isn't it? So you start with Bane Chant 1 with the Shrine, right? And then every Riftforged unit within 6 inches gives you a +1. So that's Bane Chant 2, Bane Chant 3, Bane Chant 4. So there we go. Bane Chant 4, success. Bane Chant 3, success. Bane Chant 2, success. Yeah. Sometimes it works really well. When it doesn't, you're a bit screwed. So, the reborn in the front doesn't do it. However, we roll like a boss in the flank and kill the half-breed hero. That's his inspiring gun. We then overrun the inch into the flank. We do loads of wounds. We've gone up to 16, and then I double one it. So, you know, what goes around comes around, eh? Yeah, so we've got a somewhat still healthy Abyssal Golem unit left alive. We do kill the half-breeds, and now we're extremely happy because I've got his token. So now I'm 3 tokens, which is what I need to win. I'm shielding this unit with the Thunderseers, inviting him to shoot them because then I'm off. And of course, we utterly murder a war engine, and then we step across in front of this one, so we just can't see anything. So, this is obviously turn 4. I didn't take a photo of the dice. Apologies. Imagine a dice here that says 4 on it. So he takes the flank into my horde, and he countercharges into my regiment. Alright. Because they're very wounded. Oh, I forgot to say, I forgot to take a picture. Thona obviously murdered that war engine. Murder. And he's taken some of the bait, so both of his regiments have turned to shoot at these guys. Really happy about that because that's what they're there for. Gone back in here. And that is 9. Yeah, 4 goes up to 9. It's not a great round of shooting, really. If you can see that he's got 24 shots on 4s and 4s. 12. Maybe 6. 6, 10. Oh, it's a very good round. Maybe there's war machines in there as well. There's a lot in there. They're on 9 wounds. Some more war machines do manage to get his. The only thing they could see was the shrine. So even with stealthy, they got 3 wounds on that. Of course, they die like dogs, but they've done their job. The flank does 6 wounds, but they're still okay with the horde. And of course, the reborn legionnaires absolutely die a death. But they have again done their job very well. As does my poor little Riftforger, who survived a round longer than he should have done, and now the great chests are back in play. And the battlefield looks like this. So at this point, I'm very confident actually, because I've managed to get across the board, which is the aim when you're pacing this many war machines. Get across the board and distract right away from the real prize, which is over here, which I've now got. Essentially, nothing this side of the house really matters, because at this point, this unit is away, right? If I was him, I'd be turning my war machines at this point. I'd be turning them all, ready to take this out. That's my plan. As it is, you're going to get that's dead, that's dead, that's dead. Thonar can have his pick of that and that. I think he probably goes for this one. So I might even get the middle one, but these are speed 4. They're not going to get across the board. He's got 2 turns left, so I'm feeling really confident at this point. That being said, war machines are a thing. So we do that, just what I've described, and we take the flying unit off here to start murdering things over here. That's my Veil of Shadows roll. So another quality roll on Veil of Shadows there. And that's my Bane Chant roll. So wasn't the best round for me. I'm like, well, they're facing defense 6 and we're only crush 1. Let's get a Bane Chant off. No, you will not get a Bane Chant off. Okay. Anyway, the war machine dies, so there's that. As do both these units. As you'd expect, and that allows me now. I have to face forward. I wanted to turn and pick up the token, but that just allows lots of shenanigans. I also couldn't quite get halfway into the terrain, so I'm not in cover despite wanting to be. Turn 5. This is what we look like. So no, did we not roll this? I don't know what happened there. I think I forgot to roll it. Maybe we rolled it. Oh no, that's right. He wasn't far enough. That's as far as he could get. 16, so I couldn't even attack that turn. So the horde does die. No Veil of Shadows, and out in the open means lots and lots of war machines. Not the horde, Thunderseers. Sorry. So he's got whatever he likes to shoot them, isn't he? Really. It only takes a couple of shots, and he's on 9, so they've gone up to 20 wounds. It's 11. It's a lot. He had a round and a half of shooting here because he had both decimator sets. So these and these and these could go into the horde. These could go here and here. Right. So he's got a strong round with what's left, and he really rolls it out like you wouldn't believe. They're up to 14 wounds there from their 6, but they're only wavered. So I'll take it, because actually it allows me to rotate onto the token next turn, maybe. Yeah, that's all there is to say, because there's no war machines left in here. And these guys are obviously feeling very nervous as well. And so we go in. So we decided to just stay here for the time being, because I don't want to be flanked. I'd rather just sit there and roll it out, because actually by this point the game's won. With this unit here, we go war machine murdering over here. There they are. And that is my Veil of Shadows roll coming off. Bravo, good job. I think I try and lightning bolt something and fail. And on to turn 6. So it's just really, at this point, it's mopping up, isn't it? So what can you shoot off? What's maximum points to get rid of? And it's the Horde. But what a kick in the nuts after a game that's been a real struggle. And it was, I tell you what, this was a brain going, like I was calculating lines at every point, looking at everything going, where's the lines of war machines going? Where can I get into cover? Where can I not get into cover? Like my brain was working overtime, and I think his, Paul's was the same, trying to work out what he could take off and how to move. Anyway, he does an absolute ton of wounds onto this Horde, and then he double ones it, which is just so unfair. It feels very unfair. And so at the end of turn 6, we go Thonar into Decimators, Riftwalkers into the remaining. The last war machine, there's one down there, he keeps missing. The Horde comes into these Decimators because they will die next turn if there's a turn 7, doesn't matter. But I can get this token, which means I get 7. But I double won it. There you go. It's double one city. Double ones everywhere. Double ones for everyone. I double 6 that one though. So hey, solos are a regiment Decimators, and that's the end of the game. A very hard fought and exciting victory. Really good game. It's the first time I played against massed war machines. I feel I did all right. I think my opponent made some critical mistakes, but really I was just thinking about firing lines all the time and trying to utilize the cover that I had, and I was really pleased with how it went. It was pretty much, I took off most of his army, so it was another 19 or 20, which didn't place me on the top table for turn 3 because game 3, because someone else was doing extremely well with an undead army and was 2 points ahead of me, I think. So I was on table 2. And let's see how that one went. And so we plough delightedly, like some form of deranged walrus, into game 3 against Bob and his free dwarves. Now, if you are a UK player, you will know Bob. If you don't know Bob, then you haven't been to many tournaments because he goes to all of them. He is an absolute staple of our tournament scene and, part of a 2TO team that run most of the tournaments in the north of the country, it's fair to say, and he is an all-round legend of a man. However, on this particular occasion, he is running one of the armies he is, let's face it, slightly famous for, well, at least in the UK. Yep, it's the Brock army. So I've had the fast Elohi, that's reasonably NetLSD, right? 7 war machines, and now all Brocks. It was just one of those tournaments. So we have, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 troops of free dwarf Brock riders, all of whom have Pathfinder. One of them has skirmisher's boots, and then 4 regiments of Brocks, all of whom have Pathfinder, and whom he has given Wine of Elvenkind for nimble, sharpness for +1 to hit, blessing of the gods for elite, and brew of strength for crushing strength. So tooled up, it's fair to say. He has 2 Mastiff hunting packs, and then 2 Berserker Lords, one on a Brock with Beast Slayer, giving him +2 crushing strength versus big stuff, and one with the wings of Honey Maze to fly around. And then last but not least, of course, you don't have a Brock army without very Egalax on his Hell Brock, because he has a lovely Wild Charge +1 aura, which means that everything in this list, pretty much apart from the Mastiffs and the flying guy, charges 17 inches. So there you go. That's certainly a list. Yeah, let's see. I played a Brock list once before, and I lost, just so you know. But we've got a different table, how exciting, a snow table. And we are playing Dominate, as indicated by this beautiful single token right here in the middle of the table. So we have deployed thusly. So Brock has got his sharpness Brocks with one of the Brock troops, normal Brock troop, and the Flying King. This side of these 2 houses, right? So let's look at the terrain first. So height 3 hill, height 3 hill, height 6 forest, height 6 forest, height 2 wall, height 2 wall, height 6 house, height 6 house, right? And there's some fields here. All right, there we go. So, as I said, sharpness, normal blocks here. There's one of the Mastiff packs here. Then these are the sharp... These aren't so sorry, I'm so sorry. These are Brewer's Strength. Strength here. Sharpness here. Right? With another troop. Mastiff pack. These ones are going to be not the nimble ones, the what's left. Strength, sharpness, elite. These ones are elite because these ones are nimble. Right? That's very Igalax. Where is the Baroque Lord? That's him there. And these are the remaining troops. The one on the end is nimble. So this is the nimble end. Alright? So he's just, he's spread nice and wide because he's faster than me. He's going to come round, and this is what he wants to do. He wants to hold these off here, and then he's just going to smashy, 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 smashy. Right? That's the plan. So I chose sides, and I put him on the side with the walls because I want him to charge over walls for obvious reasons. It makes him hindered. It's the only thing that can on this entire table. So I have gone very solid on this deployment. I have gone full kind of almost deny flank, if you like. This is my wall of meat, if you like. So we have got Reborn Inspirers in the middle. We've gone either side of them is Thonar and the Riftforger. We've gone the two troops. This one has the Pathfinder item because we're going to be charging into a forest. These are the Legionnaires, Shrine, Flying guys, and then everything else is over here. So the other Flying Rift Walkers, Thunderseers, and both of the what? You know what? I've said it enough times. I should remember. There's just little gaps, obviously, between recording each game. Stormbringers. Both Stormbringers. The other Stormbringer's down there. And the reason I did that is because he put his king here. And I'm like, alright, I'm going to speed 10 outmatch you. So, the plan is use my superior speed and hitting to kill this. Right? These strength guys. And then sweep around here because I plan to be holding off all of this for as long as possible. So we are, obviously he's going to come around here with all of these things. I want to get up with my horde and my inspiring guys. I've got Thonar and the Riftforger to do some punching. Chaff, chaff, and then punch. And then just hold out. Hope I can out-punch him. The one bad thing about Brock Riders is their defense 4. They lose their Thunderers pretty quickly. And then I'm all defense 5 in the back line. So, what else could I do? Not a lot. There's Bob's lovely army. It's about his 4th Brock army that he's painted. He keeps selling them, I believe. He sold one to Dan King. True story. There's my dudes for the last time. Do you like, by the way, my head swaps? Here, did I talk about these already? I'm having real trouble with these troops because they just look terrible. So I head swapped them and then I put fog underneath them. I think I might have said this already. It's been a while. I think they look alright. I put little goggles on some of them. Quite sweet. I printed these heads to make them look cool. I think they look better. So I lost turn 1 and Bob took it. So that's bad. Good thing is the walls are slowing him up. The bad thing is the nimble guys are absolutely smashing it down this flank. So here's Sverry. The thing about Sverry is he could be here to do some wild charge shenanigans and then jump over here to do some more wild charge shenanigans. So I just have to assume everything within Sverry's reach, which don't forget is very far. It's very far. Is speed 17. Is charge 17. So there we are. And then he's pushed just to the left of the house. So the sharpness guys are behind the woods, but he's popped the nose of these guys through the woods as a rather inelegant and obvious trap. And over here, he's done the same. So he's stayed shy of the hill this time. But I can see over it with my Stormbringers. And he's almost said, go on then, attack me with the Stormbringers, because then I'm going to brew of strength and king you. And so I do. He's got no shooting. We're straight onto my turn. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. It's the last game. We're having fun. Let's have a go. So I go in with both of them, both Stormbringers at the same time onto this troop of Brock Riders. Let's see what I can do. And I've come up behind here with these guys. to say, all right then, see what you can do there. And then my Thunderseers are just peeping over the hill, ready to see what happens. Let's, you give me a trap, it's very obvious. I'm going to just spring it to see what happens. Because over here, I'm not so concerned because now he can't get through. The king's out 20, and I'm out 12 from these guys here. So I've really pushed my horde forward to say, go on then, you send your Brocks into me. Let's see what you can do. Because, I've got a reasonable, I've got line of sight down here, so I can't see a lot there, but that's 14 inches. I've got other stuff here. So that's what we do. We make a sort of a curve, like yay. I've got some lightning bolts to send off here and here. We're just outside of 7, so he can't get in there. I put these guys in front, so only one of these things, because they're all the same width, can charge into my horde here. So he's going to have to spend something here if he wants to spend something here, and then I've got Thonar and some stuff to come up, right? Realistically, these going to come in here and smash these guys, and then my shrine's looking a bit scared. So, we'll see what happens. There's my lightning bolts. Not as successful this time as they were in the last game. It's fair, or in the first game, it's fair to say. And that is, well, you know what? That's pretty good, isn't it? 7 damage off of 10 attacks. I think that's excellent, actually. So 10 attacks on 3s and 2s, 7 damage. But I don't manage the requisite waver. And we're on to turn 2. So what does he do now? What can he do now? So the first thing he does is he takes the flank. He's brought his wine of elven kinds, so his nimble guys around here. There's some nastiness. And then he's brought up the rear. So, I mean, that's going to be a full 26 attacks. Not great, is it? So the king has flown over to attack this flying troop to stop it coming over here, which is sensible. He couldn't, however, get the regiment in because this troop was like this, right? And if he shifted it over, as he has done here, to attack one of them, no matter which one he did, there was not enough turn in this regiment to get in. So he was stuck. Which is good for me, because it gives me a bit of a chance. So yeah, he's brought these guys around to support, and you can see here that the troop that was in the woods took my charge that I offered, which I was kind of pleased about. I'll tell you what happened at the side, didn't I? Yes, there you go, that's what happened there. So this troop of Brock Riders, 3 damage onto my Stormbringer and wavered him, which was a surprise. Only 3 damage. A waver, I'll take a waver. It's alright, at least he didn't die. Guess they've got no Thunderous now, so that's probably it, isn't it? It's actually 3 damage. Well, they got 13 attacks on 4s. So let's say 6. And then 5s. Oh, that's pretty good rolling, to be fair. The king, however, only did 2 damage to my little troop of fly guys, which I was pleased about. However, of course, the other troop does indeed cark it, which is not so great. But you would expect that. So in response, here's what I do. So you can see over here, we've got Thonar. And I think, do you know what? I'm going to have a go. I'm going to have a go. Thonar's coming into these dogs. If I can kill them in one and overrun, it places me in a great place. So why not have a go? The mage has to run over the back to get out of the way to allow the horde to come into this troop here. So at least I'm facing the right direction. And also shielding nicely this shrine. Plus I've now got my guys here ready to respond. There is going to be some charges here, but again, because of the wheelbase? Because of the size of their bases, we're all the same size. They're cavalry and I'm 125, right? So the way I've positioned them like this, right, I'll show you the edges, means that only one can charge at any one time. Then he's not going to be able to fit more than one in here or here. So that's the plan. And then over here, we managed a lovely dole charge. So how do we do that? Let's have a look. How did I do that? I seem to remember it was quite shenanigan-y. No? Well, I didn't take a picture of it. I am so great at this game. Let's have a look. Oh, it fell easily. So they're in here. They're like that. I shifted down. And we came in because these guys had buggered off. I think so. I had to move something out of the way. Here we are. So yes, I had moved sufficiently. He's not mighty. So I simply moved these guys. There you go. Move these guys up to allow them to come in. So that's quite kick-ass. And then, so the other Stormbringer who was here fighting these guys, or not fighting, he wasn't doing anything actually, because he wasn't doing anything, just flew over here. So up I go, off I go, and hope the king doesn't, well, hopefully I hit the king with at least one wound so he can't fly. Right, so now I'm in the flank. I like that. It's a good place to be. I'm out of 17. Everything has to be 17. There we go. That's just showing you the same thing that I've just talked about. How exciting. Did we really only do 2 damage? No, that's a Bane Chant. That is a Bane Chant and a Host Shadow Beast. So that's a Host Shadow Beast here for 2 extra attacks and a Bane Chant here. The Shrine. However, Thonar properly whiffs it. Like, properly whiffs it. It's pathetic. Yeah, he doesn't enjoy that. 4 wounds, they're okay. That troop does, however, die. Which is pretty good for a horde hitting on 4s. And 3s, I guess. So. An eye position, so if he wants a triple attack, you crack right on. This troop also dies, and we position like yay, so we're ready to go. I'm not sure we're ready to go at, but you know, we're alright, I'm feeling okay by this point. Oh, that's the most exciting news of the entire day, which is... Oh, hang on, what have I done there? That's what I do. That's what I do on the left. So on the left, there we go. That's what I'm showing you. The king, you remember, is here. Okay? So the troop, which was here, withdraws, sidesteps 3.5 inches, because I'm speed 7, which allows the Thunderseers to come into the king. And you will notice in this screenshot, where's the king? He's dead. That's a skull, by the way. I've killed him. The Thunderseers came true and absolutely smoshed him. Low defense, crush 1. That was good, wasn't it? Very pleased. No flying king. Turn 3. So, in response, he goes double regiment onto the horde to make sure they got rid of, and the other troop here into my reborn, because really that blocks off these guys as well pretty well. Meanwhile, he brings one of the troops down here with Sverri, and he takes the Brock Lord and the Mastiffs back into Thonar. I think he'll be alright. And this guy's obviously now facing completely the wrong way because the Sharpness Regiment and the Mastiff Pack come into this horde. That's not great for this horde. Not gonna lie, that's pretty bad. Likewise, the Brew of Strength Regiment, so having shifted these guys over to kill the king, they can now have a charge, so they charge into there, that's poor also, and there's another charge here. So, this flank's going to look a little bit sparse very, very soon, so yes, the troop dies, unsurprisingly. As does the second Mastiffs. Oh no, that's a Brock troop, that's why. The Brock troop murders the Stormbringer in the second go, so now I've got 2 sets of Brocks looking at me. Wah, 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 not good. Even worse, obviously that horde dies because it gets absolutely exploded. And now I've got Sharpness Brocks looking right in my face. Oh no! 4 damage on the reborn from that troop though, so we're feeling quite comfortable with that. However, that horde also explodes into tiny fragments, so I am now entirely hordeless. This is what it looks like for me on turn 3. A little bit worrying, do you not think? Right? I had a great turn, I was really happy, and then this happened. The one good thing is that Thonar took 1 wound from all of that, which is, you know, rubbish. So he had a terrible roll there. There was a hindered charge here, so I suppose, and these guys kind of suck, so maybe that's okay. However, we've got Nimble Regiment, Elite Regiment, Normal Troop, Sverri Egalax, Brock Lord, and Mastiffs here. These guys are already in. Got sharpness here and 2 more here. I've lost both of my hordes and all my chaff. Need to start killing things very quickly. There's a lot of wounds on my stuff and not a lot on his. Well, actually, there's not. Everything's dead. We've got 4 wounds. That's all we've got, haven't we? And obviously Thonar. So let's get at it. In turn 3. So you can see here, I decide to take Thonar from here, the Riftforger from here, and the regiment from here into the Death Star unit, which for me is the sharpness. They need to go. I just need to get rid of them all in one, right? Really provide a good flank here, a good centre, a strong centre. I take the Reborn back into this troop. On the left, the Thunderseers choose the regiment because they're scarier, right? And despite I had a decent flanks down here, I decided not to take them because actually if the Stormbringer comes in here and kills a Mastiff pack, he then dies because everything will kill him. So instead of that, he runs away bravely because actually the Thunderseers need some support. Okay. On the right hand side, I'm running out of pieces. So my regiment comes into this elite regiment here. And the only thing I've got left is the Shrine. So the Shrine comes into the Nimble one. Shrine's not bad in combat. 8 attacks on 4's crush 1. It'll do. I've got a lovely little line of sight down here onto this Mastiff pack for some lightning bolts. Let's see what this Stormer... He's actually not there. He's actually on the hill. But he wouldn't sit. Yep. So he's got a lovely line of sight there. So everything is in, apart from this guy pretty much. And everything has to come off. So the good news is, Lightning Bolt absolutely does it. The lightning bolts off that troop. I elevated him in my feelings extremely highly. That was amazing. With 4 wounds from the Shrine, which is pretty good. Plus they've got no Thunderous now, and he's defense 5. 9 wounds there, not quite good enough. So that may mean the death of that regiment, which would be extremely unfortunate. Even worse, that troop. Was there any wounds? I was unwounded. So 7 wounds is a fair amount off of 12 attacks. I think it's fair to say 12 on 3s and 2s, but they are unfortunately still fine. Yes, I'm showing that. Is that your go? I think I'm just showing you the damage again. Good job, me. However, we do manage to kill the Sharpness unit, which is a reprieve. Right, because the rest of the battlefield is not going well. I've managed to kill here. That's great. And we just reform slight. So I think we simply, back up here. I think I'm constantly measuring the 17. Constantly measuring it. This one, he can definitely go into things. It's very, I don't want into the back of things. I don't want him to come to this unit. Anyway, that's just out of 17. So I think we're all right, apart from this guy. We do manage to kill the regiment though. Thunderseers having the game of a lifetime. Given they were a dash 17 or something ridiculous. 30 attacks on 4s with elite and then 3s. Anyway, we pull it off. So, on Bob's turn 4, I have not taken a picture of the dice, I apologise, it's turn 4. Mastiffs coming to Thunderseers. This guy's feeling really stupid because now everyone's gone again. Everyone's just legged it. He's like, hey, can I please play? He's facing the wrong way because the troopers decided to come into this regiment. Oh yeah, so the Brock Lord decided not to go into these targets, hindered. Instead, he decided to help out this troop, killing off the Reborn. These guys yet to commit because there's nowhere they can go. I think that was the problem. Because Sveri joined in with the Blessing of the Gods, guys into this regiment, and these guys came back in here. So, real brown trousers time now. Turn 4. So 1 point of damage there, we're fine. That's not an exciting combat. 5 there, which is a fair amount, but I'm still okay. Which is good. Because this unit is wavered, which is poo. And that's not great, is it? 10 wounds. I mean, 10 wounds, it's survivable, but... bad times. And the regiment in the centre does of course die. Extremely bad news. The Shrine, however, you see, lose your Thunderous, not great. 6 wounds, still okay. So this is how we're looking. as we roll into my turn 4. So, yeah, it's very much crunchy crunch time now. Several things need to happen. So I bought the Stormbringer, who's done nothing all game, apart from that first turn attack. I popped him just into the forest. Conscious that we've got Spheri, but I think I'm just out of 17 there. I can be attacked by this individual, but I've got a nice field of view across the battlefield, more like this, right? Thunderseers is taking care of stuff over there, whatever they're called, Mastiffs. We're back in here. We are not in here because we are wavered. Thonar has taken a trip out of the forest into this Brock troop, and I've kept this guy, the Riftforger, within 12. I couldn't charge because it's outside of 10, so instead he's within 12 to host Shadow Beast Thonar. The shrine's still over here. Realistically, we've got an issue. We're pushing turn 5, right? We've got a 12-inch radius. Let's say it's like that. Things need to die. We've got 7 wounds here, 9 wounds here. I've got a caster that can do lightning bolt. That's all I've got. We've got 7. Is it 7 wounds there? 7 wounds there, right? So there's wounds on a lot of stuff. These are unwounded. I need this to die. I need this to die. And I need this to die as a minimum. So then I've got these guys. These obviously going to die. These guys come in. And I've got a fighting chance. But I need all 3 of those to come off. So yeah. Here we go. The first thing that comes off is Lightning Bolt of the Century. I've given this guy, my Storm Caller, a lot of grief in the past for being useless. Adepticon, he was useless the entire time. However, in this game, and in fact this tournament, he has been a legend. He has rolled like a boss every time. She or it. Yeah, a 9 wounds unit. Couple of points of damage. Off they go. Number 1. Ding. Done. Thonar, 8 wounds. Not good enough. But you tried, buddy. You tried. The Shrine, it's not looking great there. He's definitely off next time. But, you know, at least we managed to kill the Mastiff Hunting Pack. And I overrun 6 or 5, I think. Plus, even better, we smashed this troop or regiment, whatever it was here. Right? So 2 out of 3 came off. That's pretty good. I'm all right. We're okay. So now we roll into turn 5. Turn 5. These guys will probably die. These guys, I guess we can have Spheri here. Maybe he might do the job. These guys, yeah, they might do the job on Thonar. That's definitely off. I've got some other stuff. I could not, at this point, have predicted what was going to happen. Right on a knife edge. So, yep, as predicted. So, these guys try to finish off the shrine. Would I have done that? Thinking about it, what could have happened is the character, so the Brock Lord and Spheri could have taken on this regiment on their own. You could have withdrawn here, turned, and don't forget they are nimble. I couldn't see because of the hill. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Couldn't have done that. So he's done the only things he can do, pretty much, because he needs to get rid of unit strength. So Spheri into this regiment. These guys both back in here. These guys in here. These guys in here. And again, he needs all of these to come off to win. They need to die, they need to die, that needs to die, he needs to die. Realistically. Because otherwise it's, you know, it's time, it's hammer time. So the first thing is the shrine does die. Number 1, and he's reformed looking up nicely across the hill. That's a great place to be. Secondly, the reborn do indeed die. So, you know, it's definitely coming up Brock right now. He sidesteps this guy. These guys are facing this way against these threats here. However, Sveri does not manage it. 8 wounds and a waver. Waver's pretty good. That's pretty good on these guys. But is it enough? So here we are. Here we are heading into my turn 5. No, so I'm so excited at this point. I'm not taking any touches of turn dice. But I'm telling you with my words. So this is where I am, turn 5. What would I do? So looking at this, I have choices. So the pieces I have 1, 2, 3. That's out because it's wavered. These guys can't see anything. So they're out. And we've got a caster. We've got 6 wounds. Is that 6 wounds as well? 7 wounds. No wounds, no wounds. Let's look at unit strength. So 3 unit strength, 3 unit strength, 1. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. 1, 1, 1, 3. So my priority, kill these guys. Right? That puts me in a natural advantage because my Thunderseers can come and hide behind this wood. Nothing can see him. Alright? So, let's see what I do. That's what I do. So, Thunderseers, as I said, come up and hide behind the wood. Right? Nothing can hurt them. These guys, I just abandon. Sveri, go ahead. Do what you want. The Riftforger comes out of the wood into this regiment. Okay. Might not be enough. 7 wounds, though. He's 3 attacks on 4s and 2s. Mm-hmm. We send the... oh, for God's sake, man. Remember the name of the unit. Stormbringer. The Stormbringer into this regiment. Hindered, because it's over the side of the woods. And Thonar comes in here. We get this guy on the hill. I think he's going to lightning bolt this dude or something, just for funsies. I can't do anything else. And once again, I need this to die. I need this to die. And I need this to die. Realistically. Because these guys need to survive. If I can just get these guys within 12, which I will next turn on turn 6, then I'm alright. It's real, you know, ooh, can I do it? So what's that showing you? I have no idea. Oh, that's the 1 damage. Krakow! There you go. 1 damage from lightning bolt. You go. Stormcrawler. First news is Thonar smashes it, even without Host Shadow Beast. He just explodes all over the place. He explodes all over their face and kills them. So 1 down. Even better. 2 down. Even on 4s. 5 attacks on 4s and 2s. What are they on? How many wounds are they on? They were on 8 wounds. So let's say a couple manages to roll the 3 or 5 he needs. They're gone. And can the little Riftforger do it? Yay! He only bloody can! He pulled it off as well. 3 for 3 on this turn. Wow. What a turn. It wasn't, you know, I felt sorry for Bob as the hope crumbled from his face. But at this point, big sigh of relief for me because the only unit strength he's got left is Sveri. And I've got this guy who realistically is not going to die from that. And these guys. He will kill this one. So there's that. Turn 6. So on turn 6, that's what happens. I don't think this guy... Does he do anything? Oh yeah, he comes into Thonar. Yeah, because it's turn 6, right? Nothing else for him to do. What did he do on turn 5? Oh, he killed that unit, right? Killed that unit and sidestepped. So turn 6. I mean, he could have come across here, waiting for this unit just in case, but he hasn't got Pathfinder, so he went for the points. Went for the points by trying to get off Thonar. Sveri obviously went back in here. And he achieves his goal of murdering them. However, Thonar is not dead. And on my turn 6, we decide to wreak bloody havoc. So the Thunderseers come into the 12-inch circle. They're my scoring unit. Actually, this guy's in as well. And then we just all converge on this poor little Brocklord. And I lightning bolt Sveri for 2 damage. What a legend! And we murder him. We explode him into tiny Brocklordy pieces, and that, my friends, is the end of the game and the end of the tournament. So, Steve, you've won 3 games in a row. Surely you're the winner. Nuh-uh, I came second, which is good enough for me. Second is pretty cool. The top player, or the undead player on the top table, I can't remember his name, I just scored a few points more than me. My kills were way higher, I've got to say, thanks to murdering most of that, both armies. But 3 fantastic games. Very well run tournament, very smooth, nice friendly atmosphere, which you get in small tournaments, right? So yeah, I was really pleased by that. Very pleasant. I hope you enjoyed this battle report. Please tell me if I did anything wrong. Please feel free to shower me with compliments and praise. Please buy some merchandise from the shop to benefit charity. That was much appreciated. And we'll see you next time on Death by Dragons.